Okay, this is the test review. All right. So let's first start. I'm Monday. So I'm looking at the test right now on my phone. So I'm going to make up questions based off the test. So first one, we're going to change. Yeah, I have the test in my phone. So first off.
Hello, are you making a review sheet?
Yeah.
Video.
Yeah.
A video? No, the video.
I've been trying to make a video for the last minute. Come on, let me start.
Oh, this is the video.
The funniest thing is this is going to be on the recording, so but whatever. Hello. All right. So first thing we're going to do is degrees to radians. Okay. So the question will be, I'll type it out. Change, let's say 210 degrees into radians. So far, everything we're going to do right now is going to be calculator section.
What is radians? Like, what is that?
That's fine. I'll tell you. So change 120 degrees, 210 degrees to radians. In order to change the radians, you have a formula. So first I'm going to put 210.
Are you giving us a formula on the test?
No. Since my goal is radians, I'm going to put pi on top. Since you're going to radians, and radians is like that pi stuff. While degrees, we're going to put the representation of 180 degrees. So if your goal is radians, you're going to put pi. If your goal was degrees, what would you put on top?
180.
180. So from here, 210, 180, I'm going to simplify. You could use a calculator too, but you want to write your final answer as fraction. So 21 and 18, I can reduce down to 7 and 6.
Oh, wait, so I don't put it right again?
This one you could do in your hand. Most of these you could do by hand. So it's going to be.
Did you get the 180 just because it's always 180?
It's always 180. It's always 180 with the fraction, whether it's top or bottoms, depending where you're going. So then 7 pi over 6 is as simple as possible. You're done. Do not give me the decimal, okay? So don't give me like 7 times 3.14.
Just left 7 on the outside.
Not on the outside. It should be on the top. You could technically do 7 times pi over 6, but it looks nicer as one big fraction.
Okay, how many of those types of questions are going to be?
Literally one.
Only one.
Yeah, this is too easy. Yeah. All right.
Are we gonna be able to solve it without a calculator?
You could solve that without a calculator.
Like the one on the pencil?
Yeah.
But we're able to use a calculator, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's.
Oh, I thought you said her boyfriend.
This will fall in the calculator section.
Change 3
Why did
pi.
you like that? I don't love that.
Hey, why don't we just do a review sheet?
Because I don't have a button on the keyboard for the pi symbol, so I'm just gonna write pi. I'll write it
Oh,
like
we're
this.
gonna have to do both ways.
Yes, you got to go back and forward. And there's one question each, so you could count that as 2. It's the same. So 3 pi over 2. When I type it out, it'll look like this correctly.
Oh, so now you put 180 over pi.
Excellent. You're gonna put 180 on top
Hold on a second.
and then pi on the bottom because you're going to degrees. So you go where you're going to, you put on top.
Is that hefty one?
So let's cross out things. For example, pi I could cross out. And then 2 divided by 180 I could cross out. What is 180 going to be cut in half?
60,
90.
90. Wait, no. Sorry, I didn't want to.
Then
I don't
90
like that.
times 3 is going to be 270. Make sure to put the little degree symbol, okay? 270 degrees.
I swear I'm not stupid.
That's fine. You don't have to explain yourself.
Oh, so you just, it's pretty much just a bunch of canceling.
It's just a bunch of canceling. It's literally that straightforward.
So easy.
Yeah.
Just have to use one of the second-
Those are the free points. If you mess that up, you're going to have a hard time with the rest of each other. I would not.
Oh,
But you
that's
should.
so sweet of you.
Okay?
Oh
All right.
So
my
how do you
God,
get that?
back
Just
February
alternate
is
times
over.
Yeah,
I
3
can't believe I
times.
didn't say
Yo,
yesterday.
what are we doing?
What's
for
up?
Pi
Back
Day?
February is over.
Yeah, it is. You did say that
So,
yesterday.
what's the deal
We have
for
to do
Pi
it
Day?
in March. We must do it in March.
You must do it March.
What's the deal for Pi Day?
Wait, go back. I like that.
What about Pi Day?
Sorry, my
What?
Can I get a snack?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
Okay, this is recorded, so you can just watch it later. We just
Oh, you're in.
All right, next one. Next one. If cosine, oh, let me make one up actually. If sine, let's say put X for here now. Usually I put theta, the circle of the line, but I can't. If sine of theta or whatever the variable equals, let's say 3/5, find tan of X.
Wait, is that X?
It's going to be the theta, but I don't have a theta symbol. Guys, yeah. So I need to find sine of X equals 3/5 and then find tan of X. So I need to figure out what sine 305 even tells me. So what I'm going to do is first just draw a right triangle for myself.
Are you gonna draw? Are we gonna draw them? Or are
You're going to need to draw
gonna
them. You could technically do this in your head, but you need to draw it to help yourself solve it. So I'm going to put theta, aka your x, over here. Now sine tells me something from SOHCAHTOA. Does that sound familiar?
Why did you put it over there?
What?
The beta.
You could put it on top. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So opposite over hypotenuse is sine, which means the opposite should be the top of the fraction, which is 3. And the hypotenuse is going to be the bottom of the fraction, 5. In order to make tan, though,
Adjacent
is
one-
next to it, but not the hypotenuse.
Adjacent's on the bottom.
In this case, it will be on the bottom, yeah.
Is it always on the bottom?
Depending, if you put the
No.
theta on
Is always
top, it will be on the left.
smallest one, the adjacent.
Not necessarily, but it's going to be smaller than the hypotenuse.
How do I know that?
The hypotenuse is always the biggest side.
Yeah. So where's the adjacent?
The adjacent would be here in this case.
Always.
In this
No.
case,
In this
Depends where
case.
So
Yeah.
what's the case where it
Oh my
wouldn't
god,
be
Tony,
there?
thank you so
yeah.
much.
What's up?
What's the case where it wouldn't be there?
If your theta was up here, Zach,
You just told.
if your theta was up here, this would be adjacent. It's based off where you're standing. This is where you're standing in the room.
So-
So adjacent's next to you.
Adjacent is wherever the theta is,
Yes.
but not the
Theta.
hypotenuse.
But not the hypotenuse, because technically it's also adjacent to the hypotenuse, but hypotenuse is a bigger title.
So it
So
can never be the hypotenuse.
yes, it has to be the other one.
But how am I gonna know?
I'm sorry, man.
How am I gonna know where to put the theta though on the test?
You put it wherever you want.
But then
Because you're
the
making this
adjacent
triangle.
becomes Whatever I want, I thought.
Yeah, no, it should still work as long as you put the opposite correctly and the hypotenuse correctly
So the opposite is always.
across from the theta, or opposite from the theta. Okay, so I need tan. So tan of x has to equal opposite over adjacent. I already have my opposite, which is 3, but I need to find my adjacent. I have a missing side here, so what could I do?
Oh, the thingy, the a squared plus b.
Good, so I'm gonna find the adjacent by using a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 3 squared plus a squared. Go ahead. You sure? Yeah, yeah. 5 squared is 25. Don't forget, when you do this, you have to square root both sides. So this is 16. Square root both sides, a equals 4. We only take the positive 4. Usually when you square root both sides, you do plus negative. But since we're talking about a physical distance, we will just take the positive 4.
Do you want to erase that?
No problem, this will be here. But this is going to be 4, the a, which is your adjacent. Because it's going to be 4, I can now put the 4 here. So my answer, what is tan of x? Well, it's 3 over 4. And you circle it, you're
Why
done.
couldn't we do opposite over adjacent?
Because you didn't know adjacent until we found it.
So
So
why
the
not
answer
use?
is 4.
Oh, you
Because
have
it's
it.
tan.
Because fine.
Yeah.
So you want us to find a?
You end up having to find a or the adjacent in order to find tan.
What if you gave us find so then we could have done opposite over hypotenuse.
Yeah, but I gave you so that'd be a weird question. I could give you cosecant, which is hypotenuse over opposite, which means you already have those two. You would just flip the fraction.
Wait,
That's
but-
square root of 16.
Square root of 16 is 4.
How do you know the? Oh, right, opposite.
Wait, go ahead, Todd.
Wait, Mr. Twal, you're gonna give us where
Go ahead.
When you give us where the theta is,
Say again?
you'd have to assume.
Oh, go back, go back, go back, go back, go back.
Because you know opposite hypotenuse, so why wouldn't, like, why'd you put the theta there?
Why do I put the theta there? It just how I drew your triangle. You're not gonna have a triangle on your paper. You draw the triangle
But
yourself.
then how
Oh
does
my
that
God,
just-
okay.
If we put theta,
If you put theta on top, if you
Yeah.
did put theta on top, let's say.
Yeah.
So here's a right angle and here's theta. If you put your theta on top, your opposite would be down here because
Yeah.
it's opposite that. Your hypotenuse is still here though.
Oh, so either way, the hypotenuse just has to stay where it is.
Yes, the hypotenuse is the
A
consistent
can
one.
never be the hypotenuse.
What up?
A can never be the hypotenuse.
Yes, adjacent can never be the hypotenuse. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
A is adjacent.
I got
What
you.
you were saying before was not making sense, but now it makes sense.
I'm very happy.
Okay.
Okay. Any more or can I go to the next one?
The answer is 3 over 4.
3 over 4, because you found the adjacent and you use TOA to say opposite over adjacent. All right, next question,
Wait, how do you know it's opposite over adjacent?
because tan, and then I know the word SOHCAHTOA.
I didn't know that's how SOHCAHTOA worked.
Now you do.
I always thought it was just like SOHCAHTOA.
Okay, next one. Very straightforward. This one you absolutely need your calculator. Find theta. So find theta when cosine of theta equals 42 degrees.
You're looking at the test right now, correct?
Yeah. Wait, I'm sorry.
Are you going in order, please?
Not 42 degrees. I'm sorry. Find cosine
Oh.
when theta equals,
Finding theta with theta.
you're finding theta when cosine of theta equals, I need to make it like a fraction.
89.
No, let's do 6 over
7.
I was asking him.
11.
Why 11?
Find theta when cosine of theta is.
Equals 6 over 11, yeah.
So wait, are you going?
I have to
in
fix that
order
on my
right
test.
now?
Yeah, I'm going to order.
It's just
Okay.
in
I
order.
feel like that's who's what.
What's up?
I have to memorize like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So here, we're gonna do the inverse. So we need to get the theta by itself. So I need to get rid of cosine. How do I get rid of cosine? It's not division.
Oh, you need to get the other one.
No, you don't want secant. That's a reciprocal. So you need cosine -1. Cosine -1.
Are you multiplying it on both sides?
Not multiply, it's not technically multiplying, it's a function. So you're putting it in cosine -1,
Huh?
6 over 11.
How does
So you don't
the,
actually just draw a triangle for this one?
No, not at all.
why does the cosine of -1, why does it like cancel out theta? Whatever. Okay,
What?
it's that inverse.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what it's called.
Theta.
Then you have to type this in a calculator. It's impossible to do without a calculator.
I feel like classes should
Oh,
have like-
I understand.
Yeah, so
How do we get the
56.3
-cosine?
degrees.
Wait, so does
Second
cosine of
cos,
theta and the cosine of -1 cancel out?
Yeah.
The first one, can you cross it? You cross it out.
cross it, yeah, you can cross this out.
Thank you.
So that was it, it's just 56.9?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I
This is
like
really not
that.
that hard.
Okay,
So
so
Say
wait,
that.
how many are there of these?
One, it's literally like, do you know how to use the calculator? Is basically the question says,
On the last test, I did not know you.
and that happens. Yeah,
But then you took it away.
that happens too.
Do you think it should be easy to get in the 90s on this test?
You could mess up on the non-calculator very easily if you don't
Oh, there's
practice.
a part where we're not allowed.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
just said. He takes it away.
Yeah.
He takes away our calculator.
Next one,
How do you know we get up to that part?
Yeah, you won't
it's
know.
separate pieces.
Okay,
So you'll be like, oh, I'm done with the calculator section. So you just give me your calculator. Give me the- You never get the second part of the test.
Oh, shoot.
He's
What
not
if I have a secret calculator?
Wait, you're
I mean,
not-
that's very impressive. I don't know what to
You're
say.
not giving us the second part of the test. We're finish the first part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Oh my god, that's like a whole like Dr. Stone.
Find secant theta when
See, Carol's not a little bit answer.
cosine, wait, secant,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
not
That's
cosine.
just in here.
Let's do
Yeah, we're not-
What would
we're
this
not
section be
talking
called?
Yeah, if you give us an assignment.
section. I don't know. No, this is not a reciprocal kind of question. The reciprocal is here, but it's not like that type.
Absolutely not. He's so annoying for that.
It's not as easy as just saying this is a reciprocal.
Just find theta then.
Yeah, no, you see. So let's say sine of theta is negative.
7 over 13.
No, I want number 7, make it clean. So let's do 4 over 5. Negative 4 over 5 and in quadrant. This is sine.
That's easy.
Yeah, 3. That's fine.
It's like the thing.
SEC is the opposite of cosine. Secant. What's up? Quadrant.
Can you not do that whole like numeric thing just right there?
Everyone else. What was you?
I'm not going.
I'll put just 3, but
What is that?
Ever.
no, that'll be
I'm
3.
so cold.
What is that?
Good question. What is this? This is quadrant 3. Why does that matter? Okay.
I know.
You heard it, Kat?
Yeah, I think it's like-
Oh, usually for quadrants, you use Roman numerals. All right. First off, Dan, first off,
Push Jack away while Jack was talking.
Zach, please. So for this one, it's going to be quadrant. First off, remember your quadrants. Quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. It's IV, my man.
Everyone else can do it.
Third eye test.
Yeah, not today.
Okay. So we know it's in quadrant 3. That's what's said. Why does that matter, guys? Why does that matter? This is why it matters. In the previous one, we didn't care how you drew your triangle. In this one, we have to care a little bit.
Because that's negative, negative.
Yeah, so we're gonna go make a triangle upside down like this. And this is in quadrant 3. I'm not gonna work in here. I'm just gonna make a triangle that's upside down like this.
I'm gonna make a working spot.
Good.
Wait, can I just see some of these calculators?
Yeah.
Zach, I see yours.
Now your theta is always from the origin. So since the origin's over here, your theta is gonna be here.
So what does that mean? It's wherever the inside is.
Yeah, like over here, or over here, or over here, over here.
Like that? Is that
No, it's 1 over cosine, 1 over sine.
1 divided by sine?
Yeah, out of the 6 trig functions, you have like sine, cosine,
Like that?
tangent. Yes, that would be SCC.
I need to.
Yes.
How do you
Yes, I
always
need
start
to-
me today?
How to start?
Yeah, what you're starting.
Oh, okay. Zach, Ben, stop. So how do I start my theta? It's always in the middle. Now sine is -4/5. Look at this. I'm going left and down. So when I say sine is -4/5, sine from SOHCAHTOA is the opposite. But since I'm going down, it's a -4, and my hypotenuse is a +5.
What? Wait, why though? Because SOHCAHTOA.
SOHCAHTOA is opposite over hypotenuse. So is
Opposite,
OH.
okay, that makes
So
sense.
there's 4 and
Okay.
5. We need to solve for this one.
Oh, yeah,
5,
how do you get-
the hypotenuse can never be negative.
Hypotenuse is never negative.
The hypotenuse is never negative in these situations. Now.
So funny.
So -4 is going to be going down. So we need to find this one. We're going to do Pythagorean theorem, but we already done that in the past. I'm just going to tell you after you do the math, it's going to be a 3
Did you say why that negative before is negative?
because you're going down. You're in quadrant 3. That's why the quadrant matters. Since you're falling down, your y value is negative. So this is quadrant 3. So this is because you do the Pythagorean theorem. I'm not doing the math. We've done that already. It's 3. But I'm going left. So is it just 3? It's going to be -3.
I was drinking water, but I meant to say.
Yeah, I know, you know. This being quadrant 3 is not the reason this is the number 3. Those are 2 separate entities. If you did 4 squared minus 5 squared, you would get 9, and then the square root is 3. This is the Pythagorean theorem we did earlier. I'm just going faster so we could cover more ground. So this is -3. You're going to the left, -3. Now look at what I'm looking for. Secant. Now secant, you don't know what secant might be, but what you need to know is what's the opposite of secant or the reciprocal of secant. Does anyone know?
Cosine?
Cosine. So I know cosine of theta.
Wait, how do you get negative?
Secant goes with cosine. Cosecant goes with sine, and cotangent goes with tangent. You need to know that.
How do you get -3 and not +3?
You're going to the left.
Weird.
You're like in your quadrant 3, going to the left, it's like negative and
I
x.
just did the A squared plus B squared.
Yeah. You're going left, so it's -3. Because you're and like the x value is negative. Like if you went this way, that's like -3 steps. So cosine is 1 over secant, or vice versa. 1 over secant is 1 over 5.
5 over -4.
Good. So what's going to happen? Cosine is normally adjacent over hypotenuse. It is. This is what I mean reciprocal, like opposite. So secant is not adjacent over hypotenuse. It's the reciprocal. So what is it going to become?
5 over -4.
Good. It's going to become the hypotenuse over the adjacent, which is the numbers here. Hypotenuse is 5, and the adjacent is -3 because it's next to the theta.
Oh, I got that wrong.
So -3 over here. I'll make the whole fraction negative. You could put the negative on the bottom, doesn't matter. But remember, since you're dealing with the reciprocal, you got to flip what you normally think. Cosine is normally
How do
it's
you know it's -3?
one question at a time. Go.
Because it goes to the
Excuse me.
left. It's
Callie, go.
How do you know it's -3?
Because you're going to the left. Like if you went left in the graph, that'd be -3 steps.
Wait, to the left.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Your finger is.
Left, yeah.
Do the dry erase marker.
Very quickly.
Do the dry erase marker.
A squared plus well,
Okay, I'll look for it myself.
no, you don't. Go away.
Wait, are you, okay, I'm gonna find one.
-4 squared equals 5 squared. A squared plus
You get B
16
equals
equals
30.
25. A squared equals 9. A equals 3. And we make it negative because we're going left.
I have no idea.
Ask a question, man. Or just figure it out later.
It's more that, like, what just happened with the cosine data equals 1 over SCC, then the A over H. That part.
Hmm?
I understood the beginning, but.
Yeah.
I want to-
Okay, cosine, you need to know is A over H. You know that?
Yeah, Jason.
Yeah, yeah. You also need to know cosine and secant, I should have it over here, are reciprocals. So instead of A over H, I need the reciprocal. So it's not A over H anymore. It's H over A. So you have to flip it. You need to know these two facts, though. You need to know cosine is A over H, and you need to know secant is the reciprocal of cosine. So from with that information, you know it has to be H over A. Then you just take it from this information. 5 over -3. I just made the whole fraction negative.
A was 3 and they but it was negative.
A is -3.
Wait, is that the?
Oh,
answer?
yeah, it's 3, but then it's negative because I'm going
I
left.
hope there's only one.
The -5 over 3 is your answer.
If we like try to get the problem, would you give us a lot of credit?
Have you ever seen me not give you a partial credit?
No, never in my entire life.
There you go.
It was a joke.
Have I?
It was sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
I was trying.
Like you definitely use this word.
What would this be?
Maybe
called?
not actually.
Just solving a right triangle, if you were to look this up.
Solving a right triangle.
Yeah, if you want to call this part, it says solving a right triangle. So we're gonna find all the missing parts here. Let's make this, yeah, that's fine, that's fine. I can just change it. later.
Can you wait a second?
Yeah. So I'm giving you the triangle here. And it's gonna say, please find all the missing parts.
How many parts are there supposed to be?
So I'm missing, I'm gonna test, I'll have it like next to it. I'll have AB, I'm missing,
Why?
because I don't know what the side AB is.
Oh.
I'm missing AC. And I'm missing angle B. No, there's no white marker, sit down.
I looked through the entire article.
Okay. So we need to find this. There's some things that are easier to find versus other things. So for example, I'm gonna find the missing angle
Would you
B.
tell us which ones are missing or no?
Oh,
Yeah, there's gonna be like a slot where you put your answer.
all triangles add up to 180. So you just do 90 plus 32 and then you minus that by 1.
Good,
minus
good.
it, you take
I'm gonna say that a lot for everyone though,
What's
okay?
LB?
Angle B, angle B.
Oh, so just B.
So just B. So in this case, we want angle B, but we know all triangles add up to 180. So
Oh,
if I
so
subtract the
32
two,
and 90, that gives you 122.
that'd be 58. Yeah, because that's how you subtract it from 180. So 58 degrees. So the first one, super free, right? Super easy. Next one,
Wait, how do you know it's 58?
1/880 is a whole triangle. So 90 plus 32 is
X.
122. Subtract that from 180.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
So this must be the leftovers. You know what I mean?
Oh, does that say CB?
CB.
Yeah, I thought it said LB. I guess-
No, angle B, angle B,
Oh, I was just confused with that word.
angle B. Okay.
How do we get the numbers on the outside?
Okay, how do you get the numbers on the outside? So I'm missing this one. I'll call this one. I mean, this,
Just
yeah, let's call it X. So let's call this Y. So I need to find one at a time. Let's say if I had two of these, I could use Pythagorean theorem, but I don't have that yet. So I'm gonna do this.
Oh, you just like.
I'm gonna use trigonometry to help me. So I'm gonna find X in this case. So I have from, let's use angle 32. You could use angle 58, by the way, but let's use angle 32. What is this side based off angle 32? This is is it the opposite, adjacent, or a hypotenuse?
Oh, wait, adjacent.
No, it's the opposite.
Oh, okay.
And then over here is the hypotenuse.
So we're using sine then.
Good, we use SOHCAHTOA, which means we're gonna use sine. So sine 32 degrees.
But you also can only use 58 if you wanted to.
You could have used 58, but that would be cosine, right? Because it'd be adjacent hypotenuse.
Oh, this is important.
So you have to make sure you use the right trig for the right angle. Equals opposite, which is 10, over hypotenuse, which is X in this case. But the problem is I have X here and I want X to be by itself. 10 is already on the top. That would just make it 100. So I'm gonna multiply X on both sides. Then, because I cross out the X over here, I need to move the sign to the other side. How can I move the sign?
Move it.
How? By dividing. So I'm gonna divide sine 32 divide sine 32. So before, yeah, not slight divide, just just dividing. So x equals 10 over sine 32. This you need a calculator to plug in.
What is it?
I don't know. I don't have my calculator.
I don't either.
Not done yet.
Wait,
Go
can
on.
you move it up now? Expand the page.
Yeah, sure.
So wait. I'm so confused that you said you saw here.
The testing.
Okay.
Um,
I set this up, which is sine 32, 10 over x. Now I need to get x by itself, which I multiply x on both sides. Then I divide it by sine over 32, which means x equals 10 over sine 32, which I have to type it in my calculator.
You didn't take it?
Taking it on.
I
I don't even know if she put it in the box. I'm just saying.
She got mad at you yesterday.
I didn't see it.
She was yelling at
What is
someone about
Dozma?
it. It still doesn't that look cool?
The blue one.
Dozma.
Oh, that's good, dude. That's yours?
that's amazing.
Probably.
You do it?
Probably for me, it's not hard, yeah.
That's so very amazing. Who did it?
I mean,
18.8.
18.8.
18.9.
Let's see.
you're gonna have to lean a lot of it. Actually, it's supposed to be in degrees, right?
Yes, because you put inside the sign a degree, you should be in degrees. 18.9 would be more correct. So 18.9. Okay, for the next one, you could use trig again, or you could use Pythagorean theorem.
Are you not giving us your sheet?
We'll probably make one, but it's really hard. It's annoying. And you know what? I'll make Mr. Michaels just make it
Now,
for me.
now we can-
I made a test, so he'll make the review sheet.
now we can do, for average, you know, what I'm trying to say.
also-
Pythagorean theorem.
Pythagorean theorem, or you could even use trig again if you wanted to.
Pythagorean theorem.
Okay, fine. We could use Pythagorean theorem. So it's gonna be 10 squared plus y squared, because this is a side, 18.9 squared. So 100 plus y squared. Please show your work here, because your decimals are gonna be a little bit off depending which one you do. Do you use trig or did you use Pythagorean theorem? So I need you to show your work. 18.9 squared. So it should be about
What are you doing?
357.
I use the exact sentence.
And what words do you remember?
21.
He says cool stuff.
Y squared equals
Could be enough of today.
2, 5. I mean, this is a review of your test, so I don't think it ever is enough.
I know, I should have next year.
Oh, it was the first one.
For the
It was
order.
the first one.
So why are you doing more
For
Pythagorean?
the circle.
Because I need to do square root of this.
No, but isn't it 3, not 2?
I subtracted 100 from both sides.
Yeah, for the complex, which is the order.
It was.
So about 16.
3, 4, 5, 7.
All right, let me move it here.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Y equals what?
Yeah, the
About 16.
No.
It was from the
3, 5, 6, 7.
So that means eight.
There should be 8 in total. It should be 3.
What's up?
5, 6,
That wasn't
7.
another multiple choice.
16, yeah.
No, there's a layer one that's like.
Can you wait a second?
But that's also the chart. It's 16.
Yes. After you do the math, it's about 16. It's like 15.9 or something like that. Actually, I can see it here. 16.03, so it's 16.
For the what time do you recycle this shirt glass yogurt can and not fruit.
On the test, would you want us to write
Yeah.
16.2?
You have to circle what. can't
One
be
decimal point,
composted.
so
It's like
16.0, which is 16.
composted. What
What-
can't be composted.
What if we
can't
wrote
be
16.03? That's fine, right?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just saying, you only need to go one decimal point. But if it's like 18.9, don't write 18.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I feel like she'll get this right.
Okay. I'm about to move to the next page. Any questions before I go?
Someone understood. I understood this one.
Yeah.
This one.
This is geometry. This is straight geometry. Yeah.
So that was it.
What is
I
that for?
So we're gonna do another triangle.
Are you really not?
Reuse.
Recycle.
Recycle.
God.
What's the other one?
I know.
then?
She moves goes there.
Yes.
Moves goes there.
Let's do.
I just did my project yesterday, so I remember.
No, it's just.
20.
I couldn't think. of-
Wait, what's this? The same topic?
Same topic, but now because your initial information's different, yeah, what you need to find is slightly different. Or how you find it, I should say, is slightly different.
Or we can-
But almost the same question, basically.
Yeah, she lets you do.
You could
either
do- you could do
names
or
and-
key.
Yeah.
But like 2 sentences with one.
No, one sentence.
Is this basically the same problem
Oh,
right
you
here?
need to make one sentence.
Yeah, but because our start offs are different, you're gonna have slightly different work
We're
to
gonna
it.
forget
This is
all
still
this
solving
by
right
like.
triangle.
Yes, solving right
I'm
triangle.
making sure so I don't have, I don't put it
Equal
in
A.
You really forgot all
Yeah,
that.
that's- yeah, I mean,
No,
When
what
are we getting to
are
the
these
day?
possible? So
I don't know, when do I make
The
it?
other class drivers are like-
Then I'm just gonna take Mr. Michaels and just give it to you.
No, his are
No,
terrible,
no,
please
no.
don't.
Yeah,
no,
these are so bad,
no.
they're never the test, they're always the opposite of the
You
test.
don't complain.
Yeah,
You
their
make it.
class always complains that his is so bad. We're so
Yeah, and then they
thankful
always
to
wanna
have
use
you.
your videos
they
because
use-
yours are
They
bad.
use your pack in your videos. We cannot.
Yeah,
use
we
yours.
send them your packets because they don't.
I don't wanna do the work of making a packet. A packet's already made, I'm just
I'll
taking
pay
this.
you.
You pay me.
Come on.
Hey,
How
We
much?
already do pay
I
you.
will pay you
Come on.
$10 for the whole class can pay him.
I'm not-
Oh, see, now she made it a
I'll
group
pay you
project.
$1.
That's not enough for me to do it.
Well, I'll pay you
Also-
100. I'll put $1. If everyone puts in $1. how
Angle,
much
yeah,
are you
angle,
willing?
yeah.
Can I just write A?
If we all-
Yeah, you could just write A.
For review sheet.
On the page, it will look like angle A. When it's typed, it's much more clear.
I'll give you 50 cents, but pay you.
These are teacher get 50 cents.
I'd rather pay him just give me a good grade.
It's 100 points for one, it's $100 for 1 point.
$100 for 1 point.
Yeah,
Can I pay you $10?
take the test for me.
Can I pay you to take my test?
Then if I get 100, you have to pay me $100 per point. So 100 times 100, 10,000,
$1,000.
$10,000.
That's like half.
I'm telling you, if someone offered.
Yeah, that's why-
$1,000 in cash, give them 100.
No, you get 10 points. It's 100 per
Oh
point.
my God.
No, $1.
I'd never do that.
It's just math.
Still
All right, first off, let's find this. We don't have angles yet, so we can't do that minus
Where
180.
does the theta go?
So we're gonna find AC first, which is a Pythagorean theorem. So A squared, or you could put X, it doesn't matter. I don't care.
Imagine somebody gave you 15 grand, just give them 100 and stuff.
No, that's just 100 on one
You wouldn't
test
even do it.
and then
100 on one
50
test.
on the other test.
You wouldn't even do it. So,
That's crazy.
No.
I'd say yes.
I'd say yes for
I'd
like
say yes
20
for
bucks if I was a
$50.
teacher. I feel like I should become a teacher just so I could be that teacher that like gives.
That takes brides. 625.
I think.
Not
everybody
equal,
would
I'm
love
sorry,
that.
it's plus, it's plus. Plus A squared equals 225. Anyone knows the square root of 225?
No.
Okay, it's 15.
No.
So
I think it's-
finding the missing side is easy. Not that bad, at least. So we found 15.
So that's
Okay, now-
AC.
Yeah. Now we need to find the angles, so we're gonna have to put a theta in the way. So let's put theta A first. Doesn't matter which one you start, by the way.
Okay, so we already know that there's 90 degrees in there.
Yeah, but we need to find one of these to find the other one.
How do we find?
Good idea. Luckily, we have something called trigonometry. So I'm gonna use, I can use any trig function. I'll use tangent to mix it up. So tangent of theta is going to equal opposite over adjacent. So in this case, 20 over 15. If you want to simplify it, 4 over 3. So tangent of theta equals 4 over 3. We're finding theta, the angle. So then I'm going to use tan negative 1.
Just don't like spoil it at all.
Theta equals tan negative 1, 4 over 3, which from there, you got to plug into your calculator.
Put it up, I can't see
So
it.
why'd you just do 10?
I could choose each one, so I just chose tan this time.
No,
You can choose
stop.
anyone.
What are we finding?
Daniel, don't.
The angle.
For what?
You're going to get the same
Which
answer.
angle, A or B?
Doesn't matter which trig function you do, as long as you use it
Oh,
correctly.
which angle, A or
I'm
B?
really scared I'm wrong.
I did A for first.
Oh my God.
That is going to be
Wait, you got it. It's the word.
53.1.
What else could it possibly be with?
Try all the other ones.
I can't.
Try all the other ones.
Why do you think there's a Y though?
Try all the other ones.
If we talk about Wordle anymore, every time you mention Wordle, I'm just going to learn the answer and then say it out loud. I'm tired. So this one's 53 to 1.1, but from there, since you have two angles, you can find the third one by subtracting 180. You don't have to do a trig function again.
Did you just do 180 minus 90 minus 53?
Yes.
Try, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, really bad.
This is the
Yeah, it was.
Wait, is that a 4/3?
I didn't know how.
4/3, I just reduced the fraction. Again, you could use any trig function. You could use sine, you could use cosine, you could use tangent.
And that gave us which one?
That gave me where I put my theta, which is A. Then from the, so you just subtract that from 180 down. Because you already have one, you could do the other one. You could technically also do trig and you will get the same answer.
I don't want to do trivia.
Okay, they just subtract it from 180, like I just said.
Um,
Save. Today is Wednesday? Yes.
Yeah, I know. What was it?
Okay. All right, I'm about to move to the next page. Any questions?
Wait, can we stop? I have a test.
No, you have a test in math too.
Yeah,
I'm going over
Mine
stuff.
ends in a minute.
They have a test today.
Oh, yeah,
You are making this reduce. I will pay you $5.
That's not enough.